If there was one thing you need to know about me is, beside Bionicle, I also really love SpongeBob SquarePants. It's not even worth wasting time talking about how much I enjoyed the show, just because, I mean, come on, we know why you're here. Like, you're not here to listen to me ramble on about how much I enjoy SpongeBob. You're here to watch me unbox and build a Lego Krusty Krab. Well, you see, it's actually not Lego. Lego hasn't actually made a SpongeBob set since 2012, meaning we haven't seen the yellow block of cheese on store shelves in 12 years, and for some of you, you might have never even seen that, which has to really suck for you, honestly. The first SpongeBob's Lego set I got was in 2006, and ironically, also the Krusty Krab. I loved those minifigures that came with it. Especially the SpongeBob, like, he was really cool, and I took him on all sorts of adventures with me, both inside and outside the house. It was a great time. Also, I think SpongeBob might be one of the shortest minifigures out there, but I don't know if anybody wants to fact check that. Go right ahead. But ever since 2012, Lego, or Nickelodeon, decided not to renew the license for the theme. Instead, the theme got passed around to other toy block companies, but I have to say, I think Nickelodeon struck gold with this partnership with a Chinese company by the name of Area X to create a line of officially licensed SpongeBob SquarePants sets. Beside the Krusty Krab, they also released a bunch of cool sets too. Just look at how many different SpongeBob minifigures there are, the uniqueness of their faces rock, and what made LEGO SpongeBob so great to begin with. The ability to have multiple interchangeable expressions for Spongy is so soulful, to be honest, and really helps if you're looking to recreate certain scenes or whole episodes. So good on Area X for considering that. But also, how did you even get this awesome set? Well, I just want to say thank you to today's video sponsor, Barweir. Barweir is an awesome website that sells LEGO compatible sets and parts, including Area X's popular line of buildable SpongeBob SquarePants sets. They also sell other buildable lines from popular IPs like Naruto, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Sherlock Holmes, and Snoopy from Peanuts. They also have great non-IP related sets like Modulars and Technic, not to mention military themed sets as well, something LEGO seems adamant on not doing, except if it's Star Wars of course. Another theme Barweir carries is an extensive lineup of LEGO compatible train sets. I do have somewhat of a soft spot for LEGO train sets, but they're just so expensive, you know? And I can attest to this because I did buy a LEGO train set to get my gift with purchase Tahoe. I also ended up never building it, and it's just been sitting in my closet since 2022. I also got a train station for my second Tahoe. Not a great use of my money, I have to say. If you're interested in any of Barweir's listings, I couldn't recommend them enough. Barweir also has warehouses in the USA and Europe, so shipping is much faster compared to other websites for certain sets. Check out the link in the description to see Barweir's listings for yourself. As an added bonus, users can use my code OSOYT-Barweir to save an additional 14% off your order. Thanks again to Barweir, and let's continue on to the review. Released in 2023 with over 2,700 pieces, this is the Krusty Krab released by Area X. As you can see by the instructions, there is Chinese writing. That's because this line of SpongeBob sets were exclusively for sale in Asia, which is not unheard of these days as China's middle class is expanding. Companies want a piece of that action, of course. There's also a QR code I can scan, but the page redirects to WeChat, which I don't think is available in the US or outside of Asia, for that matter. I also got this VIP card that I have no clue what it does, but there's a code in the back of it, and if any of you want it, just go right ahead. I have no interest in that. I wish I could show off the box, but I didn't receive one. It kinda sucks, but if you were to order this set, you might choose not to receive the box either, as you can save quite a bit of money foregoing the cardboard box that holds the many plastic bags of bricks included in this set. Now let's talk about the pieces that came with this set, and we'll start off with the minifigures. This set comes with a whopping 7 figures. We got SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, Plankton, and these 2 customer fishes that, quite frankly, I have no idea who they are. And I researched this on the SpongeBob wiki, still nothing. I also learned background characters are called incidentals. I'd say the fish is a combination of...
Not at all, boy! big, meaty claws!
Whereas the orange fish seems to be a combination of...
Yeah?
Congratulations, sir!
This is a load of barnacles.
LEGO SpongeBob also had background characters in some sets, but I have to say these are just way superior. Like, just check out those legs and arms. Very cool. Plankton, just like his LEGO version, is also a 1x1 round brick with printing. However, now he has a piece attached on his head, a 1x1 stud with a clip that also has printing on it, which acts as his antenna and unibrow. It's really cool and lets him stand out more. Then we have the other 4 figures included. They're all very faithful to the show and very interestingly assembled. Their parts are included on spews, which means you have to assemble the arms and body yourself, which isn't too bad. It was admittedly a little annoying to assemble, but was well worth it. To save time, I'll name 1 pro and 1 con from each figure. SpongeBob's face and back printing are excellent. Overall, he's just a great figure who is very true to the original show. Only downside is he didn't come with a spatula. Kinda wish they made one for him, as it was one of his iconic tools. I mean, just rewatch the first episode if you need to confirm that. I like Patrick's size here. He's fat in the show and they of course captured it here very well. Much better than the LEGO version of him, that's for sure. However, the loss of articulation in the head and legs doesn't really make for a good figure. And though this is not indicative of the set itself, but I hate this single-tooth Patrick face. Out of all SpongeBob characters in my opinion, none has been more flanderized than the starfish himself. But again, that's just a personal nitpick. Then we have Squidward, who I think looks the best. His expression and the fact that he actually has 4 legs is awesome. I know he loses articulation, but I'd rather he be more show accurate. I'd say the only downside is he doesn't have a hole in his head for a Krusty Krab hat, unlike SpongeBob. And finally, we have Mr. Krabs. Off the bat, the inclusion of his big meaty claws is amazing. In lieu of his red minifigure hands, now he has red claws that better suit him and make him a lot more show accurate. Surprisingly, I can't think of any cons with this figure itself. However, later in the review, I'll point out an issue and you yourself can decide if that's a problem with the set or the minifig. I'm choosing the former, but you might have a differing opinion. Now, onto the side builds. As per the instructions, this was the first build. It's just the enter sign for the Krusty Krab. Nothing to write home about, but you see this piece? Well, it's printed, and that's why this set is so great. The amount of parts with printing is phenomenal. It really just puts LEGO to shame, honestly. Don't get me wrong, there are stickers in this set, 10 to be exact, but I feel that if this was a LEGO set there'd be a whole lot more. The only thing I dislike about this build is the colored base. I personally think it would have looked better being tan colored, as in the show it just kind of sticks out of the ground, which is, of course, sand. Moving on, we have another sign. Probably the most iconic part of the Krusty Krab silhouette, beside, you know, like the actual Krusty Krab itself. Anywho, not much to say about this either. I really love the printing on the Kopaka Nuva shield, and not having to place a sticker for the Krusty Krab logo is really cool. I do have to say, I feel like they could have done a better job trying to capture the shell shape, because these robot arm pieces kind of stick out too much. Like, literally, the gap is pretty noticeable. Also, the color being different from the shell doesn't help. Overall, that's the only nitpick I have for this sign. Otherwise, it's still pretty good. Next we have a boatmobile, which is such a great build, and it's pretty faithful to the original show. The boat can only seat 1 person, and only the 2 customers can fit. Oh, and also Plankton. Unlike the LEGO version, this boat doesn't have a pullback wind-up feature, and no window either. I feel like the set should have at least included a windshield. And finally we have the dumpster. It's a very simple build, and using these Star Wars bars and robot arms to add greeble is really cool. Harkens back to the bamboo outlines of the dumpsters in SpongeBob nicely. Oh hey, wait a minute, where did I put my Patrick fig? This is probably why you even clicked on this video in the first place. This is the Krusty Krab, and right off the bat, there is just so much great detail that went into this set. The stickers on the windows, the Star Wars bars to create the crisscross net pattern on the sides, the use of different bricks and tiles to break up the monotony of just using a single type of LEGO piece, the brick-built flags, the chimney, and antenna. It just has so much detail and consideration built into it. The only downside I'd say from the outside is the back, as it's very bare bones. Seriously, they couldn't just throw a few more bricks to fill it out some more? Well, if you're looking to just display this, this shouldn't be a problem. Speaking of display, with the flick of this button by the front door, you get lights. Yep, this set comes with a light brick to show off the interior from the outside even better. I noticed lighting in LEGO sets have become a lot more popular, and it's a warm welcome to see it included with the base set, instead of having to go out and buy it separately. Bonus points for integrating it into the build. It is a shame that because of how tight the fit is, the wires are hard to manage, but I'm sure with some extra parts you could hide them easier. Be careful that when you put the windows on, the wires don't go on top of the stud. Doing so will cause the window to pop out, which will ruin the set's best play feature. You see, grabbing these two blue toe ball pieces will do this. That's right, this whole set can open up, allowing you easy access to the inside. The way this Technic assembly works is it uses these tires and 1x1 pin bushings, which allow these lift arms to act as treads to run on this path and slide the roof down, and allow the main floor to pull out. It's a really fun concept, but it can be somewhat annoying when you don't press bricks down completely, as this play feature is integrated so seamlessly. I'm kind of guilty of not pressing pieces down hard enough. I always feel like I'm gonna break the entire thing, but surprisingly the set can take a good amount of force like actual LEGO. Now, let's jump to the inside. If you like SpongeBob moments and memes, you'll love this set, as they're littered throughout the set. I won't spoil them, so try and spot them throughout the build. The dining area has a few tables and chairs spread throughout the restaurant. I really appreciate the fine detail that went into the printing on both the tables and the floor itself. Fun fact, this set also includes one interchangeable floor piece that features a smushed plankton. The small build really captures the dining hall well, despite how small of an area they have to work with. I also like that this set includes these stands to keep the Krabby Patties on the table, so that when you pull the set out, it doesn't fall over. Next, we have the bathroom. Not much to write home about here, but I'll give him points for even including it. Even though all this bathroom consists of is a single bathroom stall, it's kind of gross that there's no sink here, as it's placed in the next room, aka the kitchen, probably the most popular location in the show as well. The kitchen is well furnished and has of course the grill for SpongeBob to make patties on, a fridge that has a weird picture of the Flying Dutchman on it that I'm not quite sure what it's referencing, but it might have something to do with this green Krabby Patty, which actually glows in the dark. Then you have a supply shelf and a utensil rack in the other corner. These additions really help sell the kitchen feel, and of course they're true to the show as well. Also, something I haven't mentioned is the doors. They don't quite work here, however. See, the door opens inward, and because of the sink, the door doesn't make it very far, which was originally my only complaint, but also the fact that most of the minifigures can't pass through the door unless you put them sideways kind of stinks as well. The final room is Mr. Krabs' office. It's a small room, but they managed to furnish it pretty well and included some great key details, like his chair, his desk, his maritime signal flags, his safe that is really high up for some reason, and even his first dollar on the wall, but in sticker form, plus a small stack of money on the floor. Now, remember when I said earlier that I had no issue with the Mr. Krabs minifigure? Well, now it's time for you to decide who's at fault here. You see, Mr. Krabs' office is really small. So small that Mr. Krabs cannot sit, or should I say stand straight forward in his own office. There is a fix where you just move all the furniture down one stud, but even then he still has a hard time getting to stand straight. I feel like they could have just moved the kitchen in one or two more studs, like don't do my man Eugene dirty. Give him the space he deserves. The final part of the build is the rafters on the top. Here you'll find a box full of supplies, cobwebs, a gold trophy, and even plankton for some reason. I don't know, what are you, looking at the customers you'll never have there, Sheldon? No complaints at all here. In fact, you have a lot of cobwebs left over after the build is done, which you could use for other mocks like a Spider-Man diorama, or even stop motion. Plus, of course, it is a canon location in the show, and I could see why they included this, like, it just really helps hold the walls together. So yeah guys, that was my review of the Area X KRUSTY KRAB. Now, I gotta say, like, this is such a great set. Like, if it didn't include any of these minifigures, it would still be a great set, just because it's honestly such a great set piece from the show. If you were gonna build a Bikini Bottom, and you needed a KRUSTY KRAB, honestly, like, look no further. This has got you covered. It's amazing. it's such a great set, and honestly, yeah, if you had none of the minifigures and it was just this, it would still be perfect. I don't really have nothing else to say about it, honestly. This is like such a special set. I've known about this set for a while. It's just that I didn't have the chance to buy it. However, Barware offered to send me one as long as I did a review on it. And like, I mean, I talk about all different kinds of Lego, so I was like, yeah, sure, I would totally do that. So thanks again to Barware for sending me this KRUSTY KRAB. If you're a true SpongeBob fan, I would highly recommend this set. It is just phenomenal. And even though it's not real Lego, something I have learned is that actual Lego, like we have SpongeBob and Squidward here, they actually scale really well with this set. Just gonna push all these guys aside so I can show you what I mean by that. Yoink. So here we have Squidward's post at the KRUSTY KRAB, his cash register, and as you can see here, he fits perfectly well inside of there. And on top of that, SpongeBob, like, it scales perfectly. Like, I feel like this was made for these kind of minifigures, these Lego minifigures. Like, if you don't really care for the very high quality, like, honestly, in my opinion, high quality figures, and you want to use a traditional Lego one just because, you know, you have them already, like, honestly, yeah, buy this set, replace the minifigures, the Area X minifigures, and just put your own SpongeBob ones. And on top of that, because Plankton, you know, he's basically like just the 1x1 cylinder. Oh, I dropped it. He's basically the 1x1 cylinder. He actually scales perfectly with this set as well, with the original minifigures, and it's basically like an original face print. So beside the two that exist officially with Lego, you basically have a third one, which is like, it's great. Like, you have more faces for Plankton, and this is more of a neutral one, which is really cool too. Also, on top of that, the fish people from this set scale very well with the minifigures. If this was the second design of Squidward, I feel like this would look even cooler, but yeah, honestly, it's always nice to have more fish people, so that's something to look forward to if you buy this set. And if you do buy the set, definitely check out Barware, because they actually will ship it from the United States or Europe, depending on which region you live in, so you could have it even faster if that's something, if you feel like you need it right away. Definitely check out Barware, and I can't thank them enough for sponsoring this video. Make sure to also use the coupon code in the description to save 14% off your order. So yeah, guys, not much else to add here. So I don't want to make this video go on too long, because I feel like I'm about to break out into a tangent about why mixing official Lego and compatible Lego bricks together can be really great, and they work so well. Because I mean, just look, these SpongeBob figures like actually scale. If I'm gonna be honest, they actually scale a little bit better than the ones created by Area X, that I'm actually just now really realizing. But yeah, I don't want to like break out into like a rant about that, so I'll end it here. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching, and again, consider purchasing the KRUSTY KRAB if you are a SpongeBob fan, and make sure, if you are, to do it through Barware. So bye.